We talk football and current events, sitting and chatting with the very best guests. With two Scottish boys and we're loving it. So if you like witty banter, check the former #1 podcast on iTunes. Sitting and chatting. Hello and welcome back to Sitting and Chatting podcast. I'm Liam Whyte.
I'm Jamie.
How you doing, Jamie?
Oh, good. I'm good. You see it all, literally. Sitting here, natural light for once.
I know.
So nice.
I mean, by the time this ends, it might not even be natural light, to be honest.
Nah, it probably won't. But I'll factor a lot in this. So let's see if I can get a natural light for the whole podcast without it proving an issue. Oh,
Before this started, me and Jamie actually bought new equipment, but until we can actually be in person, this will be like, as technologically advanced as we're getting.
that feels too bright. That's too bright, isn't it?
Yeah, as it was meant before, to be honest. You kind of fucked it.
Fuck it. Fuck natural light, innit? Who needs a fucking light?
I know, yeah. It's not a podcast or anything.
So it's a bit of darkness, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I see it.
Well.
But fine. Still sat in the house. Confirmed that I'm sat in the house for forevermore. So.
Yeah, it'll never end.
Nah, so getting used to the room. She announced more lockdown restrictions.
Did that used to be your sister's room? Is that why it's painted pink, or is that just how it was?
Nah, this is mine.
What you want, the pink eye?
See, before we got the extension, and this used to be my mum and dad's. They took the new build side, and we just took my old room, and then I took this one. This was the biggest one they gave us to me, but it was in pink. They asked me if I wanted to repaint it, and I was like, nah. So
yeah, it keeps you in touch with your feminine side, doesn't it?
Exactly. You know what I mean? I'm not bored. So at that time, though, I was spending you're lucky if I was spending 6 hours in here, and then I was sleeping and then back to work. Do you know what I mean? So it was like.
And now you're 24/7 in there.
Now I'm here pretty much all the time, unless there's something on like football or darts or whatever. I'm downstairs watching it, then.
Then you might straddle downstairs.
Then I'm away for it.
Do you eat your tea in your bedroom?
It depends, to be honest. It depends what I'm having. Some I just have it at the table, and some I bring up here.
Well, how was your New Year's Eve? We were obviously talking to Allan last time, the unofficial third co-host, about what we were going to do last week. You said you might be able to go to a party. How did that turn out at the end?
I never shot it. For the right reasons, to be fair.
Yeah.
But nah, it was me, my wee sister, my mum and dad, and we were kind of just sat watching. What did we do actually? So I went down about 11:55 because I was in my room told it. Aye. I was just on the PlayStation with Bradley, having a wee drink, and then I was like at 11:55. I just said to him, right, I'm away down now. Went down so I could take the bells in with them. Went down. We watched the fireworks after the bells at Wallace Monument. Back up with Allan, and
that was the only good thing about it.
And then after that, we spoke for a while. I watched something, and then we watched our game.
Classic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we were having a drink. Nibbles. Good.
I've just realised if you're not Scottish, this won't really mean much to you, but have you ever seen Only an Excuse? The one that gets played just before?
Good this year.
Yeah, that's my aunt's cousin that does that.
What do you mean, does it?
Like, he's the main actor, and Jonathan's his name. He's like the main actor in it. So for those of you that don't know, yeah. For those of you that don't know, Only an Excuse is what's the way of putting it? It's like a Scottish sketch show, mainly based around football, but also around other things occasionally. And yeah, always gets played like an hour before New Year. And that's my aunt's cousin that does it. I've met him a few times. He's a really nice guy.
It's not really really good, but It's a couple of years where it's been stinking, but apparently this year it was pretty good.
Yeah, they sort of revisited. I mean, I wasn't really. I was sort of half watching it, but it was on the background. I could see it was sort of like revisiting like the older clips as well as the newer ones, and like speaking to the people that were actually obviously that it was based on and getting their opinions.
Aye,
Which was
happy
it
days.
was an
But everybody was like, "So that once a year you get to see that." But I never watched it though because I was upstairs till Allan 55.
Yeah.
But we watched the game. It was the Mad Christmas episode, and then after that, I think I just went to my bed. Aye, not too exciting, but
not smashed off your face.
Nah, that came a lot after. What'd you do for your New Year's?
So I was very disgruntled, but accepting of the fact it would be over Discord. And to be fair, it was nice. It was glad to see that people were rushing on because it was only me and James for the first half an hour, but we had a good chat. And then slowly but surely more people came in. Probably had about 10 at most at one point, and then but it was probably averaged about 5 or 6. To start off the night, though, I potentially made the most lethal drink of all time. For those of you that don't know, I have made my own bar to side, which I never talk about. And in it, I managed to, and in a single glass, I managed to make, what was in it? 2 shots of gin, 2 shots of vodka, 2 shots of rum, 2 shots of martini, 2 shots of blue curacao, and cranberry juice, all mixed in together. And you couldn't really taste the alcohol in it. It was, and trust me, that that was about worth probably 5 or 6 pints in like one small glass.
You fucked after it?
Nah, weirdly, I was so, and then I was on the beers for the rest of the night, barring the occasional wee shot. But it went through like a weird period of like as I was getting to about 12 o'clock, I could really feel it settling in. I thought, oh shit, here it comes. I'm about to fucking conk out for the night. And then when the bells went, I got a second wind and I was able to survive till about 3:30, which was nice. And woke up the next morning fine, which is even better.
Yeah, for much more.
Yeah, it was nice. I felt weirdly like I actually talked to more folk this year than I would do on a normal occasion. I felt like I phoned more people on the bells just because also I couldn't be with them, which was nice to spend like 5 or 10 minutes chatting to people that you wouldn't necessarily see as much as you normally would.
I find that as I got called 4 or 5 people when the bells, whereas you were also one of them. But then if I was at a bit like last year, a couple of years ago, I had the bells in the house and I went round to Ewan's aunties, and that was probably the most I've spoke to after the bells before ever. So do you know what I mean? That's the level. But I got phoned like 4 or 5 people and I was like, it's a bit mental this.
Yeah, it's just because I suppose, most folk aren't, alcoholics like you and me just sitting at home with nothing to do, and they're probably like, oh, do you know what? We should probably speak to these people, wish them a happy new year.
I know. But nah, Bailey had I had like the tiniest wee dram for the bells, but I had a dram and then I had another one, and that was it. Right?
And another one. But nah, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. And then to fucking cap off, man, I forgot to mention we one of Ewan's college pals joined the chat. I came up with a fucking lethal game of drinking where you go around in a circle of like people. So like there's 6 or 7 of us playing. You do heads or tails. And before that, though, you can bet how many sips you want. So say, all right, I'm betting 10 sips for it to land on tails. And if it lands on heads, you have to drink the 10 sips. If it lands on tails, it moves on to the next person, and then they can add to it until someone eventually drinks it. And I lost both the first turns as the only person, so I had to do 50 sips for both of them. Which was a bit lethal.
I'll say.
So that was
sounds like a cracker.
What's that?
That sounds like a crack me game, but
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll get played along with many other games when I'm finally allowed to host people here.
I know.
I know. Here's hoping the
Next
Euros
year.
still go. Mate, if they, mate, I'm so hoping that the Euros goes off ahead so that we can like have folk.
Well,
I can have folk.
apparently the well, obviously as you probably seen yesterday, elite sports get to continue playing, but
Yeah.
sporting competitions can be postponed.
The thing is, though, they can't really postpone it another year, though, can they? Because it's the World Cup next year.
They're
kind of fucked at that point, aren't they?
Could probably just cancel it, to be fair.
Fuck you.
I would cancel it, just write it off.
Nah, fuck you. You're just scared that Scotland might get a draw against England or something.
That'll never happen. Never get leathered.
It doesn't matter. I'll be getting leathered in support.
Well, I mean, that's fair, aye. That's fair.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, I'm planning, providing of course we can do, to have a massive sesh come the bells if it's all allowed and okay.
Come the bells.
Come the bells. Come the fucking come the Euros.
Euros.
Yeah. Clearly
come the
all
bells.
Yeah, days are just kind of mashing up into each other at this point.
No.
Well, what's pretty funny though is so yesterday before the announcement, before the whole UK got put into lockdown, I got a phone call from my like new boss at the job that I'm going to do, and he was sort of the typical saying like, oh, how's your Christmas, how's your New Year, just chatting for a few minutes, and then he was sort of saying, providing that things go off okay, we're hoping maybe we'll get you in for the 11th of January. Would that be all right with you? It's like, yep, sounds perfect. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm not shitting you. I hung up the phone. I placed it down. I went into the kitchen. I grabbed a drink of water. I came back. My phone flashed. All Scots people have to stay inside until like the 31st of January. It's like, well, it was fun whilst it lasted.
Alright. That ain't happening. I know I was meant to go back on the 17th into the shop, and obviously the announcement happened, and it was pretty much, yeah, you're going to be working from home until probably the 31st, with a possible extension to mid-February. I was like, oh, right, okay. So it could be longer than January.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, see when I first got sent home from work all the way back in March, it wasn't until August before everyone started getting let go and before people could start-ish going back to work, so...
Yeah.
Part of me does worry the same happens again, and we're having our 6 months of being inside, which would be pretty horrific, to be honest. Jamie's loving it. Jamie loves the thought of just staying inside for 6 months.
Fucking too right. It's the best way.
No, I mean, look, I enjoyed it when it first happened, but I went to Jersey and I worked for 3 months. I was ready to get back into it,
But no, I do miss it some aspects. I'm not gonna lie, but you just got to go with the flow.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the way it goes.
I had like 12 hours sleep last night. I'm still tired.
What? Sorry?
I had like 12 hours sleep last night. I'm still tired.
What is that? Because you're still steaming after the Rangers result, which I imagine you want to talk about.
No, we'll keep it on the down low, but
keep it on the down. Why? Are you still actually scared that you won't win this league?
Nah, I'm not scared. I mean, I've always got the thought in the back of my mind, but I'm not scared.
No way you give up a fucking 19-point lead or whatever it is.
It's 10 points if they win other games in hand. They win other games in hand.
Okay, but so you'd realistically have to lose another 5 games this year, and they'd have to win all their games from now to the end.
I'm saying it's heavily weighted toward us, right? But say we lose a game, right? That's at 7 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say we pick up a draw, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're at 6 points.
When
they
you
beat
play
us in the
Aberdeen.
next 12 forums. very good. Then they win the last two firms. There is 0 points. You know, that's providing they go and win other games, but that's how easy it is. 1 draw and 3 losses.
I suppose the only thing you have to worry about is that you haven't actually lost yet. I know that works in your favour, but also might be a bit of a worry of just like when they happen, they might all come at once.
Aye. Shut up anyway.
Yeah, I'm not scared.
Nah. As long as you guys lied into us on Sunday.
I mean, I don't know. See it happening any other way, to be honest.
I'll be forever grateful if you just lied into us. And then on the Monday night,
I can imagine. I know it won't happen, but I can imagine if we somehow scraped a win, the fucking abuse I will get from you if that happens.
I don't think the podcast would be finished. I think.
Would you never come back on? Just
I don't think I would come back as a guest.
That's nice. Yeah, you might actually be able to beat your time then if you did that.
I'm not scared. Just thoughts in my back of my mind. I was like how you were with Liverpool last year. You wouldn't want to believe it was finished, but realistically, it was.
Yeah, it wasn't. Coincidentally, actually, it wasn't. I remember specifically, it was that game that we won against Man United at Anfield. That was the first time I was like, right, okay. Because I think the game before that, we just met Spurs as well. So it was then now it was like, right, okay, it's probably ours. But the rest of the time, I was just like, no, I'm not going to believe again. Because the last time I did believe, we choked on the finishing line.
Exactly. So, I believe in us, but I still have that thought in the back of my mind.
How many titles have you seen Rangers win in your lifetime? We're not counting like the lower leagues. I'm talking about like top divisions. How many have you seen them win?
7 or 8.
So, spread that over like 20. So you're seeing one realistically every 2 years. Ish.
Aye, because we used to win a lot when I was a wee guy.
Yeah.
Obviously they went on a run.
Yeah, that was it. Like, what year was it you got liquidate? Was it 2012 or something?
2012.
Oh, yeah. So, Jesus, it hasn't really been 10 years since you've seen a top flight title.
Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, it's something that we need and we want, obviously, but it's never times, to say the very least. The last 4 games we've been playing well.
What do you think? What do you think's like the feeling around the supporters? Do you think most feel like you, or do you think you're sort of a minority in this?
No, I think. See, I see it on Twitter, like everybody laughing, saying like "mind the gap," and just all the kind of snidey comments. And I think, mate, everybody's like thinking we've won this, or they're all really confident. And I'm sat here like this, so I'm thinking, wait, am I just in a minority? But then I'm thinking, deep down inside, they're the same. So I mean, they make the comments and worry later. So I mean, fuck knows. I honestly don't know, but I feel like
I mean, I know again, it's quite deep, the football chat, even though I said we wouldn't do it before the start of it, but I feel like this season in particular, if you look away from the Scottish top league, every league has been pretty much a disaster for nearly every team. If you look around the world, every team has dropped points, or every team's playing nowhere near as well as they could do, as potentially they could do before the wonders that are COVID struck. The thing I'll say though is I know a lot of football. I know football's very reactionary as a sport. So you lose a couple of games and instantly it's just like, oh, our season's over, or oh, the manager's fucked, get him out. I'd say this season more than any is the most reactionary that I've seen from fans, because 1 minute you can literally be on top of the league and then the next minute you'll be in 10th or 12th or whatever.
Yeah.
And because there's this much, uncertainty about where your team's actually going to end up or the future of a lot of clubs, you see a lot of people are, like you're saying, they'll be doing the Twitter shit of I'll mind the gap, and then the next week they'll be getting beaten 4-0, and then there's oh, fucking sack the manager, my life's over, etc., etc. And don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of that as well. I fully understand that, but I think in a sense, not boohoo cry for Liverpool, but or Rangers as well to a certain extent. But when you have been on top and you're used to that feeling, to then go down, it's a mighty fall, isn't it?
I know. I can imagine how Celtic fans feel, but at the same time, I'm thinking, what amazes me is like you're saying like sack the manager and stuff. Like it's actually incredible that Neil Lennon's still in a job from most people's point of view. But see, when you actually look at it, he's only lost 2 games this season.
Well, in the league.
In the league, he's only lost 2 games this season in the league, and that's what means the most to him this year.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think that is the one reason why he hasn't been sacked. But in response to that, though, I think when you remember how, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not fucking prime Barcelona, but if you remember how well they did play at points last year compared to this season, it's a mighty fucking drop off. And I think
they're not playing that as well.
Yeah. Well, they're not even playing well. Like, if it's more the fact that they fucking lie down to you, especially in that first Old Firm game of the season. They just fucking took the pummeling off you for nothing in return.
They were shite in that first one. But even at that, like in that game on the second 2 days ago, whenever it was, they literally played us off the park.
Yeah.
And we stole it. And it's a it's like a complete opposite or reversal of the cup semi-final.
Yeah, I heard quite a few people saying that as well.
It was a total, literally they all changed shirts and that was it. It was just totally in reverse. And I'm so glad it's this year we've done it to them, that we got reverse on them in that very game. Because if a lot of people say, if we beat them on the second, that's the league finished. And I was kind of like, now, you know what? If we beat them on the second, their bottle might crash. So they're away to Dubai. Right now, they're in Dubai.
That's a problem in itself.
Well, they've got clearance, right? So basically, if they come back, but anybody has coronavirus, they kind of get punished.
Do you want to explain to the audience who might not know what we're talking about?
So the Celtic team were beating the Old Firm on the second. And regardless, win, loss or draw, they were flying to Dubai that night. They flew to Dubai that night and they were given clearance to go. So they went, they're still there obviously. They're there till Friday or Saturday, they fly back. And then they prepare on Saturday afternoon for their game on Monday night. But they've basically been told, or they've been given clearance to play against Hibs on Monday. So they've been it's just fucked. But basically it's at Mirren, the team were travelling in the same car and they got like a fine and 3 points deducted.
One rule for some and the other rule and another rule for others.
It's just, it blows my mind, honestly, it does, but you know what, that's why I don't make the rules and I just sit here and watch.
It does feel weird though that they've done a winter warmth training thing, and this year especially, but only for a week as well. Like normally Scotland does actually have a winter break, and they get, obviously this year we didn't have one, but it feels weird that they're doing it for literally like a couple of days or a week, sort of thing. Like, what benefit will that get them, if you get me?
Aye.
A bit of
I hope they come back jet lagged to fuck and Hibs beat them. So, one of Hibbies. We'll see what happens. But nah, it's a whole farce. And I hope they don't get deducted points, you know that? Because I don't want them to
take away from it.
I don't want, you know what I mean? They really want, last year they wanted the league cancelled and the title to be handed to them. So it was a tainted title. Whereas, let them play at the rest of their games. Do you know what I mean? And if they have genuinely broke COVID rules, fine. You need to take points, fine. I just hope it. I'm not going to ask for it.
Yeah, you'd rather
it's the same if
you'd rather beat them fairly.
Aye, like it's the same if somebody was to say to me, "Would you rather the league was cancelled?" No, absolutely fucking not.
You want to keep
let us
enjoying
fucking,
this.
let's play it out. Let's win the league properly. And don't get me wrong, if we win the title and it was handed to us tomorrow, I'd be jumping about like a fucking fanny. And I'd be messaging every Celtic fan I know, and I'd be taking the piss, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, there'd be a thought in my back of my mind, I'd be like, we just got handed the title.
Yeah. It's never as good as actually winning it. But I suppose you have to take it this year more than most. You have to accept it more than you can normally.
People are focusing on Celtic's fall rather than Rangers' rise, because we have played great football this year.
Yeah, I'm not taking it. I'll be honest. I'm more impressed with you doing well in Europe, because obviously Scotland's quite. If your Rangers are Celtic, it's relatively easy to win it. But the fact you have actually played good football in Europe as well, I think has helped in your favour. You've
top to group as well.
Yeah, top of your group. Who's it you played next round?
Fucking, I can't even mind. It's been that long since we got
a draw.
Got a draw. I don't know why Standard late. No, it's not Standard. I thought it was.
Either way, you won that. You're in the quarters. That's a good season for you. Well, no, it's not a good season.
We should beat them up by point. I can't remember. I'm going to find it in the pick. We should beat them, and even if we'll probably get beat in the quarters. Don't get me wrong, because that's when you start to see your Ajax and Champions League sides. Do you know what I mean? So that's when it's hard after that. But at the same time, you take it. All right, that's who we've got Antwerp.
Yeah, so you should win that.
I knew it was a Belgium side. I just didn't know.
The fact that you have been playing this well, I'd be confident saying that you. When is it you play the games? Actually, is it March or the end of February or something?
March, I think that was.
Well,
the 18th. No, the 18th of February. Sorry.
Oh well, so you're still playing. If you're still playing this well by then, I don't see why you can't win it. And then at that point, I think that's a success. I don't think you can ask for much more after that, unless you get, for some reason, a really fucking easy draw. But we all know the way that the Scotland game works. You never get an easy draw.
Nah. Well, we were seeded, and we still got like one of the better Belgian sides. It was like mental. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There was teams like Man U who got just absolute diddies, and you're like, what the fuck?
I know. It's almost as if it's a bit easier for them for some reason.
I know, fucking, it was a joke. But now we take Antwerp and we move on. But now, like you say, it's been a good season. But people keep focusing on the rise, the fall of Celtic rather than the rise of Rangers. I look forward to hopefully winning the title.
Do you think? Because I reckon I see more folk chatting about how the rise of Rangers in many ways, but I suppose maybe it can be construed as either way, depending upon what media you're watching.
It's funny. I don't think you can call it. They're not playing as well, but I don't think you could call it a fall of Celtic when they've only lost 2 games. Do you know what I mean? Like the fall would be 4, 5, 6 games like your Man City. That's a fall. Or Liverpool has lost a lot of games this year.
That's than anything else.
Aye, that's a fall. Do you know what I mean? Whereas with Celtic, they've lost 2 games. Whereas, last year, by this time as well, by the way, they'd already lost more than that last year than what they had this year. But it's because they're drawn as well, and we're playing so well, it makes the gap look massive. What people forget is they're 3 games behind us. They have got 3 games in hand. People forget that. Do you know what I mean? But
it's because it's a good headline. 19 points clear.
Aye, they're not playing as well. It's a simple fact of that. But
but I don't think. I think you might be one of the only teams in the world currently that are playing better than what they were last year.
Aye, well, nah. Teams like, if we're going off that logic, like teams like Southampton and
I mean like top sides.
I suppose but the thing is, we surpassed Europe standards last year as well.
Yeah.
Europa League, we were in the last 16 against Bayer Leverkusen. No, it was I was the last 16. We got passed around a 32.
Yeah.
Last 16. Bet how many? Was it the quarterfinals? Can't mind. It was quarterfinals of last 16 against Leverkusen. Got put out. Nobody thought we were going to get there. We did, but we would have won the league as well if they never handed the title to them. But nah, we are playing well this year. Hopefully it continues.
Well, moving on then from Europe and football and all that. Back to, I suppose, New Year's. Did you see the Mr. Beast rewind? Since there was no.
No, I've not actually watched it yet. I've not watched it yet. No.
Do you want to give you some spoilers then?
Go for it. I'm not mad. How long's the video? Like 40 minutes or something?
No. I think it's like 8 minutes. It's not that long.
Is it rapid, right?
Yeah, it's rapid. Let me have a look. Hold on. Yeah, so it's 6 minutes 30.
Okay.
It's all right. It's the best way I can put it. It's not when he said he was doing it. I thought at first he was going to get like loads of creators involved, and there are creators involved, but it's not like that's the main point of it as such. Like they're on like Zoom calls or Discord calls or whatever, and they're like saying their best moment or what they thought the best moment was, and then a clip plays of this happening, and it's it's rapid fire, like it's constant. It's well put together. Dylan's mate Dream done a fake face reveal at the end. So that was funny. It was all right. It's just I suppose like other things, I was hoping for a bit more, but it's a bit naive of me to expect more. I suppose it's not fair of me to expect more, if you get me.
It's not his job to do a rewind.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. If YouTube done one this year, I still think that one would have been better. It's not as high quality, but Mr. Beast videos aren't what I'd describe as like high quality. I know that might sound like I'm insulting him, but I wouldn't describe his videos as like the best camera work or the best best visuals, that sort of thing. And I know YouTube probably would have done that, but I think this was better as a rewind. But overall,
yeah,
I'll say a 7 out of 10, a harsh 7 out of 10.
Fair enough. I will watch it after this.
You can have your
after we
expert
finish
opinion.
this, I will watch it. Yeah, but I seen it, to be fair, and I was like, can I be arsed watch it now? And then I just forgot to go back to it.
Can I be arsed feeling about 2020?
I mean, YouTube's was shite last year.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't actually think I've like ever seen a outstanding YouTube rewind. I've seen videos that I've seen some of them, and I've gone, that's nice or that's cool. But that's sort of where my entertainment was at. Because I'll be honest, you watch it, and YouTube's obviously a platform for billions across the planet. And it's not like we watch everyone. Typically, the UK will watch creators from the UK and from like the US as like the two sort of main areas. And you watch it, and I feel like I'm relatively clued up on YouTube, but I watch it, I don't even recognize like 75% of like the people that appear in it.
I know, I get that feeling as well. It's heavy bad, but I know, to be fair, it was understandable why YouTube never done it this year, but at the same time, it's something that creators wait for each year. Do you know what I mean? They try and get it in there.
They wait for it to make a 10-minute video roasting it.
Aye, but they get views after that. It makes them bag, so that's why they wait on it. But that's what it is. But I've not seen it yet, and I will go watch it afterwards.
So what are you going to do this year? Are you planning on doing anything different with your time in lockdown now that you're going to be stuck inside again, or is it more of the same going forward?
Well, I mean, I'm working Monday to Friday.
Are you still working from home now? Yeah.
Aye. I'm working from Monday to Friday each week.
What What does like working from home mean for you? Like, what do you actually do like on a day-to-day basis when you're working from home? Like, what's the job actually involve?
I get up at about get up about 8, get my breakfast, have a shower, and then load the laptop at about 5 to 9, and then basically calls start flooding in. You answer a call, and then it's just whatever the customer needs, you kind of just get sorted on the phone.
Is it like technical support, or is it more?
Nah. So the campaign I'm doing this time around is like new business. So customers who want to join the network.
Okay.
I sort that out. But
I can't imagine you with a customer sales voice like on the phone. Yes, like you're.
Oh no, I've no.
Is it literally just?
I just have my normal voice. Aye.
Jesus, they must have thought
it's easier that way because they make a conversation. Oh, you're Scottish? Aye, you're right, aye.
No, I'm fucking Welsh. Have you actually had that? Has anyone thought you're from a different place other than Scotland?
I've had Ireland a lot, but
you are a bit of a Fenian bastard, aren't you?
Well, right, I can't believe you just said that. And that's you demonetised now. Terrible. That's us, we're done.
Sorry, apologies. Sorry, Ireland.
Terrible.
But nah, so like this is nah, but so like what, you're just trying to get them into the business sort of thing, is that what you do then?
Aye, basically you get phoned, and it could be all sorts of different reasons. But basically somebody could just say to me, I'm on Vodafone, I'm looking for a deal on this phone. I gave them the deal. They go, aye, that sounds good. Can we go ahead with that? I go, aye, no bother. Fill out all the details, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. Move on to the next call. You take maybe 20, 30 calls a day. Sometimes more, but obviously it depends.
Didn't you say on like a previous podcast that you like aren't basically allowed to like leave your chair for any reason, sort of thing?
Aye, so
once you're logged in, that's you there.
Basically, what they've done is, seeing the first lockdown, they basically had people who were, so it was call centres, right? And then obviously, you would have in your call centre, you would have your team leaders and then your managers, right?
Right.
So your manager managed your team leaders who had a block of teams.
Okay.
So they would monitor calls from each department, like each department. And what they done was, right, so people who were aspiring to be team leaders during the last lockdown, they gave them a team. Right. So you were talking people who were just getting used to power and or were trying to make an impression, right? So if you were off the call for like, you hang up a call, you're finished with your customer, you could have just had the best interaction, the best sale of the day, right? You're sat there taking up your notes on the customer's account.
Yeah.
And it would be ping, 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 ping to your right on your phone. Why are you not on a new call? Why are you not on a new call? And you're like, no, I'm filling notes out for my old customer.
Yeah.
You might do that. You might do that when you're on the call, and that I was but the customer's in a hurry. Do you know what I mean? So there was just wee things where they were just so desperate for sales and not to. They were power hungry and they were just abusing it. But basically, not to blow my own trumpet at that, but I was like, in my old team, I was by far the best out of all us. We knew that going in. I knew that going in. I recognised names from the region and stuff, and I was like, oh, I know I'm better than all of these guys. And it's not to blow my own trumpet, right? But basically, before
I'm
so
just
it was
fucking
9
shit
to
hot.
12. Pretty much. You were doing a 9 to 5, right? I would have my target done by 12, and everybody else would still be making excuses on why they've not took 10 calls yet. Whereas I've took, 40, got my target done. And I didn't stop, do you know what I mean? It wasn't a case of, right, that's me done my target for the day, I'll just kind of take the piss now. Because you can't. But they fought like that. And it was like and then she would phone me and she'd be like, I want more out of you because you're clearly my best performer. And I'm like, well, no, you're not meant to be penalising me because I'm the best. Like, go and fuck off and tell the rest of them to pull their weight. Do you know what I mean? I was carrying like 4 people on my back and I was still getting moaned at. So that's why I hated it the first time. But this time around, what's happened is rather than getting us mad random team leaders from call centres, they're just our managers practicing. Like right now, our manager for the last week's becoming a team leader.
Right.
So he's going to do it, but he's already he phoned me earlier on. He was like, "Look, you can schedule your breaks. You can tell me what you're doing when you're doing it, and if you need to leave, I need to know why." Blah blah blah. Like pure chilled out about it. I was like, "Aye, that's no bother. That's the way it was the very start of the first lockdown."
Yeah, before this happened,
But in the second part was when they gave us team leaders, and it was just fucking dire. But this time around, it'll be fun.
So you working with again more folk that you knew or not at all?
No. So this time around, I'm literally just working. It's me, Dylan, and David. That's it. But it's an individual target you've got this time, so it's no longer a team target.
Right. So yeah, so
which is
smash it.
So Dylan could do absolutely shite, and it wouldn't make a difference to me. Or Dylan could do phenomenal.
Are you trying to indicate this is what will happen?
Nah, but we've got an individual target, so it's going to be easier this time around. But it should be fun. Just the four of us. Do you know what I mean? Me, Dylan, David, and our manager. Because he can manage us how he wants. He can say, right, for the day we're going to have, an incentive on where it's like you can leave if you hit your target and that. So
yeah,
you can actually do stuff like that. Whereas prior to that, it was just, no, I need this, and 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 it's like, fuck off. Just done my fucking
working you into your grave.
Aye, so no, this time around it'll be fun. I'll enjoy it.
That's good.
I just hope it doesn't go on. We're sat here in August, so doing the podcast and going. I mean, I'm still working from home, so.
Mate, I think there's a high chance that might be happening.
Aye, there's a possible. It's possible to say the very least. Though, like, even if we are sat here and it's June or July and we're still in lockdown, that'd be mind blowing to me.
Well, they would have had a full year of it.
Aye. Like, do you think this started in 2019, December time? Like that alone blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's just fucking fed up with it. It's like, how like normally, like when you look back on a year or whatever, and there's a few things to remember, like a few massive news stories. There's literally only one thing for everyone.
And everybody's is the same. It's mental, but what it is, isn't it? You just kind of get on with it. No point dwelling on it.
Yeah, I suppose, but you also need to bear in mind as well, it will get to a point where some people will start to crack, and if you have another however many months again indoors, that might happen again.
Very true. Very true. We'll see what happens. Hopefully not. Hopefully not, is it?
Yeah, hopefully not. Well, do you have anything else to add before we finish?
Nah, I'm raging. Before the podcast, I was saying to Liam that I had something to talk about, and I can't even fucking remember what it is.
Guaranteed in about like an hour and a half's time, I'll get a message off you saying, "Oh, by the way, this is what I remembered."
In fact, just quickly, see on the whole Mayweather and Logan Paul fight.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that shows just how away we am. Now it's just like, oh yeah, I forgot that Mayweather's fighting a YouTuber.
I know. What do you make of that situation again?
It's good for Logan Paul. I don't see how he can lose unless he gets brain concussion from it, which he might do. Because even if he loses, which he will do, let's not like beat around the bush here. He is not going to lose a fight to Mayweather. He still wins. If he, I might get a lot of slander for this, and I'm willing to accept it. But I didn't think that. I do not think that Mayweather will knock out Logan Paul. As controversial as that might sound, I don't think Logan will win, but I don't think he'll get knocked out. size-wise, I mean, I'm pretty sure, isn't like Mayweather like 5'9", 5'10", something like that? Logan Paul's like 6'4" or whatever. And you know, you look at the age gap and all that sort of stuff. I'll still think that Mayweather will win on points, but that'll just look good for Logan. To be honest, there's no way in which this looks good for Mayweather, because if he wins, oh well done, you better YouTuber. If he loses, though, he's basically ruining his own career.
I don't think there's any way he loses, but I don't think there's any way
he wins.
Logan loses this as well. Do you know what I mean? Logan loses the match.
Even if Logan gets knocked out, he's still, you know, like, oh, well done, you made the match.
It's a lose-win situation. He's lost to the best boxer ever, Grace.
Yeah, the only way he loses from this is if he suffers permanent, like, injuries. That's the only way in which that he loses from this.
Aye.
Do you know what it does show? That it shows how fucking poor, though, that Floyd is with money. That he feels the need at like 51 or 52 to take a fight like this.
Aye. Shocking, isn't it? Just shows you, though. But it's mind-blowing how he's took this fight on. But, you know, it's something else to look forward to.
Is he your favourite boxer of all time? Because I know you're a bit more into the sport than I am.
Nah, I don't get me wrong, I love watching Floyd, and I have for, you know, time. But every time he fights, I watch it, don't get me wrong. But I think, I'd say based on watching, I would say he's my favourite to watch. I don't think I enjoy the technical aspect. People hate the way he's just slow and runs away. People would you know, you have that argument all the time. People forget just how good that actually is. You know, people forget even, like, not to take it back to football for any length of time, but basically people fucking don't understand, like, how good West Brom or Newcastle is at defending. Like, do you know what I mean? That aspect of the game is so difficult for most teams, and they master it for 90 minutes against a team who should be leathering them 10, 15 nil. Do you know what I mean? So it's like those wee aspects of the game. See if you put, like, I mean, I'll go back to this topic all the time. See Dundee United, I've got a perfect record against Barcelona. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just going to leave that there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, impressive, but you also got to remember, you know, they did have a pretty shit hot team back then as well. Obviously not of the calibre of Barcelona, but they still had, you know, potentially champions of England style team back then for like a few years.
Aye, but it's still, it amazes me how good, you know, these wee aspects of the game is. I don't know if you watched it on the other night on Sunday. It was the final with the darts.
Nah,
I don't know how interested. So like, darts is massive. Darts are massive for me every year. Always watch them. This year I was devastated because an arrogant cunt won, but you know, I'm going to talk about it. But even I appreciate how good his game was on the last 2 days. Like, actually amazing, but he's still a cunt. But it was amazing. So it's the wee things about it. So my favourite boxer would probably be Floyd, just based on watching it.
Okay.
But nothing else really.
But yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, it's a win-win for Logan. And, you know,
definitely. You know, he can even lose, but he still wins.
I mean, fair play to him. It takes a lot of balls to get into the ring with, you know, potentially the greatest of all time. You know?
I know.
You know, I mean, especially when you think about the fact that he doesn't really need the money. He's rich. I mean, it's different if, say, one of you or me were offered to go in the ring with Floyd, but it's not like he needs the money.
No.
That's actually interesting. Would you get into the ring with him for 50 million?
100%.
You're getting KO'd in one punch and
if I, like, even if I die to the greatest of all time, at least my family's got £50 million.
That's the one argument I'd have. It's just like, even if I'm fucking, you know, dead, then, you know what, at least I've got a lot of money to leave off afterwards. And, you know, Floyd will probably feel bad and donate a wee bit more to him as well, you know.
No, no, because he's not got any fucking money left. The cunt.
Oh yeah, true. Actually, yeah. Do you think that's how he does it? He gets like the 50 million. It's like his gyro, and then he goes off his tits with it, and then gets another fight.
Aye, he'll be fighting till he's 75, and then he'll snuff it.
No, the thing is though, if he genuinely does keep going like this, he will get KO'd one day. I'm not saying it'll be by Logan, but if he does keep doing it this way, he's going to get KO'd.
I don't think he will. I think this will genuinely be his last fight, and it's obviously it's an exhibition match. It's not nothing serious, but
yeah, but it still goes on his record though, doesn't it?
Nah, it's not because it's not. It can't go under professional record unless it's.
So is it head guards?
No. It's a professional exhibition. It's like the Tyson Fury, like the Mike Tyson one.
Right.
That wasn't towards any of the records.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a professional exhibition match.
There's another one as well that you could see. I wonder what will happen to Iron Mike. I wonder if he'll keep going as well, the same way that Floyd did.
Aye, I know. It's interesting, but.
That
fight was scripted to fuck though.
Oh yeah, it does sort of show you though how much of a bad place boxing is at the moment. If it needs to rely on these people and YouTubers to come out to do the big work for it,
and it is relying on it. By the way, it's like no two ways about it. I think you look at I always put UFC in the mix because the UFC is literally so good, don't it?
I think it's far more entertaining than boxing.
Aye, I'm the exact same. The whole idea of like Conor McGregor and stuff coming back is just embarrassing, but at the same time, it's one of those ones where you're like, the sport needs him in a way.
So yeah, I mean, he's there's no doubt about it. He's still. Oh, actually, no, I'm not sure. I'm willing to commit to saying he's one of the world's best because it's been too long since he's fought, but. He's the
best entertainer.
Yeah.
He's by far the best.
If he does have a good fight as well, like, and he's back in the mix as such, then because I know obviously his last fight went down pretty well. If he has another decent fight, that might be him, announcing himself back.
Aye, but he's already got a fight lined up, so it'll be interesting to see how he feels. But the guy he's fighting is just it's a whitewash. It's only gone one way. He's winning it. But I guess I'm back at the sport. But I know that's all I had to add to this because I wanted to see.
When is the next fight? When is Conor's next fight?
Midway through this year, I think. Let's see.
I thought it was McGregor.
Let's see.
Something to look forward to,
Oh no, it is. It's the 23rd of January. Don't shake.
Well.
Aye.
What day of the week
that's? Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah, I'll probably have to stay up to watch that. Yeah.
Aye. I know. It will be good. But that's the thing. It's again one other thing to look forward to, as well as you get to see the best entertainer having 3 or 4 good press conferences and shit like that. It's just exciting time, isn't it?
Yeah. You need to look forward to some things, and it's good that he gives us something to look forward to, I suppose.
Aye. Although he is a Fenian cunt, but we'll not talk about it.
Cancelled, demonetised, over.
That's it. Fucked it. I fucked it. But now I was looking to see what the...
Well, I think that's it then for this week.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. 2021, officially our third year now. In fact, I think it might be our 4th year. This might actually be our 4th year now.
I guess our 4th.
Did this for a long time now. Did this for a long time.
Right. Professional, some would say.
I wouldn't quite go that far, but we're getting there. But yeah, no.
This is true.
Hopefully more goods to come. We've got a few interviews planned out for the year, so hopefully they turn out to be goods, and hopefully me and Jamie can find other people throughout the year that are happy to do Zoom calls.
Aye, one of them. Yeah. If you want to sponsor us, feel free.
Yeah, along with literally anyone else, I'm happy to take it. Unless, it's some sort of illegal substance or like something
the
that'll
white
get us in
supremacy
trouble.
and all
Yeah,
that.
I'm not a big fan of white. I might have the last name of Whyte, but I'm not a big fan of white supremacy.
That would your name would dictate otherwise, but
yeah, spelled wrong. That's why I don't.
That's fair. But that's
until
good.
Until next time. I've been Liam Whyte.
I've been Thayjamieallan.
I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
We talk football and current events, sitting and chatting with the very best guests, with two Scottish boys and we're loving it. So if you like witty banter, check the former #1 podcast on iTunes. Sitting and chatting.